In this video, we'll go over the 3 vowels that have symbols related to the letter E. These 3 vowels represent, from left to right, the sounds A, E, and E. Let's go through them one by one. First, we have the A sound, represented by the lowercase e. This represents a mid-front unrounded vowel. This sound is spelled in a lot of ways in English, as we see in words like eight and eight, break and pale, way and gray. We think of the letter A as the letter for this sound because the name of that letter in English, A, is the sound of this vowel. The IPA uses the letter E because in many more languages that's the letter that represents this sound. English is weird in this way. You might notice, though, that several of the example words here use the letter E for this sound together with another letter. Words like eight and break, and at least this spelling of gray. I know gray can also be spelled G-R-A-Y, so that's fun as well. Another thing you might notice about the sound here is that in English there's often a bit of something else at the end. It's not just a, but a. It has a y sound at the end, and it's often transcribed ey in the IPA by linguists to represent that. Yeah, you might see it that way, or you might see it transcribed just with the lowercase e. In other languages, some languages do that, add the y sound at the end, and other languages don't. So pay attention to what it is that your language does. The next sound, here we have the e sound, and this is represented by the Greek letter epsilon. That's what that symbol is. It looks a bit like a backwards 3 or a small capital E. And this sound is a mid-front unrounded vowel. Now, if you're paying attention, those are the exact same words we used to describe the previous sound, the A sound, and that's because A and E are very similar. In fact, this E sound is produced with the tongue a little lower and more relaxed than the A sound we just looked at. So linguists sometimes describe this sound as lax and the previous one as tense. I'm not going to dwell on that difference here, mainly because most languages don't make this distinction. If your language doesn't make this distinction, you can just use the lowercase e and not worry about it. In English, we do make the distinction, so we have this way to describe the difference. In English, this sound is usually spelled with the letter E, like we see in words like enter, left, and pebble. You've got to remember how vowels are tricky things in English. The letter E is involved in a lot of other sounds, like in beep and crepe, and it's silent all over the place, usually at the end of words, like in pebble, the E at the end of pebble, at the end of late, at the end of tongue. Okay, so that's for this sound. And then the third and final sound for this video, this is the sound, and it's represented by a character known as schwa. It's the only IPA character I know that has a name distinct from the name of the letter it's based on or its sound or anything. This is the schwa. Linguists, and especially those of us who work with English, love this sound and we hate it. With luck, you don't have to do either of those, but I do have to bring it up because I'm talking about vowels and I'm using English as an example. It's sort of a sleeping vowel in English. It's what we often get in English when a vowel becomes unstressed. As for spelling, I'm going to run you through a lot of examples here. No, first I should say it's a mid-central unrounded vowel. Okay. Right. I'm going to run you through a lot of examples, mainly just to show that it can be spelled, this sound can be spelled with literally any vowel, right? So we have it as A in about and banana, not the middle A in banana, but the other two A's. It's spelled with an E at the beginning of beside and in foxes, spelled as an I in council and similar, the second I in similar. Spelled as an O in occur and the first O in potato, and it's spelled as a U in support and campus. So quite a mess. With any luck, you don't have a schwa in your language and you don't have to worry about this. Or if you do have a schwa, it's a bit more, a bit less weird than in English. And the symbol, as you see, is that lowercase e that's been turned around until it's upside down. Okay, so there you have it, the 3 E vowels in English. A as in gray, E as in pebble, and as in about. I'd like you to consider a couple of things for your own language here. I've mentioned them, but I'm going to repeat them here. First, ask yourself, does your language make a difference between the sounds A and E? Are these meaningfully different? In English, we have pairs like bait and bet, where all the changes in the pronunciation is that vowel, and we have a whole different word. Does your language do that, or does it treat them as just variants of the same sound? And second, do you use the schwa sound at all? If you don't, fine. If you do, does it get written a particular way, or is it kind of like English where that's just what vowels become when they're unstressed? Okay, so that's it for the vowels whose symbols are based on E. Next up, we'll have the I sounds. So I'll see you there.